So this is my 1977. Where is it? I think it's 1977. Might be a 76. '77. This is my January of '77 Toyota Celica Ra28. Celica, tomato, either, whatever you want. I'm a bit late on making these videos. I've had it for 2 years, and well, it's gone back to metal completely, all rust repaired, and just a big job really. I bought it as a barn find, literally a barn find. It was in the guy's garage for about 10 years, unstarted. I think 1997. The plate was put on, and that was to accept the 1GGTE 2-litre twin turbo, which actually came with the car over here. It's screwed. 10 years of sitting in the car, not doing anything. The radiator fluid in this thing, when I flushed it, came out like grandfather's ashes, and it was horrendous. So although the compression came out okay, I didn't trust the channels with the water pump, and basically the whole engine be sitting for too long for me to take the risk and spend the money on doing it up, and basically turning around at the end of the day with something going wrong and then redoing it all again. Not only that, this is, I believe, a Gen 1, I'm not too sure, but it's got the water to air intercooler, which is pretty cool. Like, they work pretty well. I got no ifs and buts about them, but apparently the Gen 3, which I picked up off a close by sleeker enthusiast in Brisbane, I just like the look of it better. You can see the two intake and outtake pipes coming up over the top of the engine. It looks absolutely awesome. I can't wait for it to be all together, and the intercooler will live down there. But yeah, this is basically where I'm up to now. It's been fully sprayed. It took me a while to choose the color I wanted to go with, and white was it. In certain lighting, you will see purple and green pearl flakes through this white paint right now in the garage. You cannot see it because the lighting is horrible. But the whole car is painted. I've put some GT stripes on it. I'm still not convinced with them, but I've got an idea on what I want to do with the GT stripes at a later date. They are not going to stay plain black, but I'll keep that for another video. So yeah, this is where it's at now. All the innards used to be extremely clean after the strip down. I had to dry ice the old tar sound deadening out of the bottom of it, which surprisingly enough only cost about $30 and took about half hour. And that was all the floor pan, including under the rear seat. I didn't want to use the heat gun on them because they just make a mess. And I chipped them out, wore some welding gloves so I didn't get any dry ice burns. And about 4 liters of dry ice, I just transferred it from each cavity to the next. And after I took it out of one cavity and put it into the next one, I was able to chip out all of the sound deadening very fast. There's a couple of YouTube videos on that. I think Connie Celica, the guys in the States, did a video on that. But yeah, where I'm at now is sorting out the chrome pieces. I am missing a couple. I'm missing this bad boy here. And I am missing the lower windshield chrome piece that clips in. The question I have is, and I don't know what I want to do yet, is do I want to black these out or not? I could go the gloss black, because the ones I have are not in the best condition. They will come up shiny, but they are a little bit scratched and dimpled and a bit horrific. If I do that, you know, I'm going to have to paint this guy black. The rear view mirrors will end up black, and the radio antenna will end up black. I just don't know. I'm unsure if anyone's done a full blackout of the trim pieces. I'd like to see it, because I don't know if it'll give more depth or if it'll take away from the car at all, but you know, that can be done later on down the track after it's all together. I'm not going to go spray anything yet, just in case I make a mistake. Interior panels I did myself. My brother is an auto trimmer, but you know, I like tinkering just as much as anyone else, and I thought I'd give it a go. It's my second set I've done, and these ones came out better than the first, so I'm pretty happy with them. I've got a few more panels to do. I got beneath the hatch there, that piece of timber is yeah, cut to size perfectly, and I just need to cover it. The front door piece is all together, so that's what it looks like with the actual parcel shelf and the speaker in there. So I think it actually works pretty well, and once a nice new door handle goes onto it, this door handle I have is absolutely horrible. I'm not using it. It doesn't have a pin, so it doesn't really stay on, but yeah, you kind of get the gist. It's a door handle. Also had to make an indentation here, so I put a piece of 3mm foam over the wood in between the vinyl. I didn't want this door handle, as it got turned around, to scratch the vinyl, so this actually is clear of the door handle when it spins, and it's not going to scratch up my nice vinyl. So that was very easy to do. I just cut out the foam insert, ripped it off, spray glued over the foam just in this area here, and stuck that down, and it has not moved, and it will work. Same with the other side there. I've still got to do the speaker boxes, which I'll do at a later date. They can be done afterwards. But yeah, the seats will get completely redone. The foams are surprisingly in good condition, but you know, this is very 70s, early 80s style. Horrible, absolutely horrible seat pattern. So that's not going to stay like that. The whole car is going to get completely reworked. I'm not going to put anything back together on it if it hasn't been either cleaned very, very well, repaired, or you know, aftermarket or brand new, genuine, whatever. Nothing goes back on this unless it's been looked at. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things on it now that haven't been touched yet, but it's just, you know, time. Things take time. Bumper works. I got the lights the other day from a gentleman in Brisbane. Got some like centerline replicas. I don't know if they're real or not, but I don't really care. I was questioning if I want to use them or not. Probably will, probably won't. Still not sure. If I do use them, I'm going to have to send them to a wheel repair shop and get them chromed up. Sorry, polished up, so I get that nice alloy look. Some people said, why don't I black them out? And I just thought it's going to look way too, you know, just, yeah, black's not fun. On the wheels, I'd like to see the wheels, personally. The rear of the car is pretty much complete as far as exterior is concerned. The chrome bumper is in extremely good condition. This came with the car. The rear panels on the back holding the badge and the lights all work beautifully, and they fit. The previous owner deleted the vents on the side of the car. Now, when I picked this up, it was horrendous, and the whole car was black, and it had chipped paint off it everywhere. I had to take the whole thing back to metal, like I said. But yeah, this was just cut out, just a big square, and then welded a plate in. And the weld job was horrendous, so I had to grind all this out, flatten it out as best I could, put a few new welds in with a couple of spots he missed, and this was just full of bog here, so I had to cut all that out. Panel beaded it back with some old panel beating tools in that box there from my late grandfather, who was a panel beater. So I managed to get a nice collection of very, very cool old tools that work a treat. Dollies, hammers, different shapes and sizes and weights. That came in very useful to flatten that out, and I think I got that really, really good. There's a very, very fine layer of filler on here that's been sanded right back. I did not want much bog in this car whatsoever, so I stayed away from it completely and just used a little bit of body filler fine stuff, and then go over and over and over and over again as it's needed. The roof again come up really good. The bonnet I have to respray because it was in horrible condition when I got it. There's dents everywhere. You probably can't see it now. There's no reflectiveness. It has been sanded, so it's got like a matte finish to it. But there's a couple little dints over it that stand out to me, and I do not like that. I think it's horrible. So that's got to get redone, which is not a big thing. I can spray that up in a weekend and get that looking mint again. Again, the GT stripes will end up a nicer colour. But yeah, I'm just going to make a couple of videos, stick them on YouTube. There's not many Ra28 videos out there. And every time I look for new content, I can't find it. And if I can put a video up every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, whenever I could be bothered to do it, any little tips or tricks I find on how-tos or how to get things to fit, maybe fitting the bumper. I literally just did that this evening and it's come up really well. It did not look good when I first started to put it together. This was an inch down on that side. This one here was touching the guard, and I'm lucky enough I didn't scratch the paint. Yeah, but a little bit of time and effort and undoing a couple of bolts and then redoing a couple of bolts a few times, managed to get it where it needed to be. But yeah, I'm stoked with it. It's been 2 years. I'm gonna give myself 6 months. 6 months to get this engine wired back into the harness that the previous owner mutilated on me. This harness here is actually from the previous engine owners, the one I bought recently. He had this in an RA40, and all this wiring is actually pretty good. It's all labelled for me, so he did a good job for that. There's a couple of wires that are missing pieces and stuff, but I'll get an auto electrician to sort that out. Once I get fixed, once I get sorted the fuel tank, once I get that looked at, hopefully I can get a nice fuel pump installed in it and try and turn this thing over. When I bought this engine, it was running in an RA40, so I did not want to buy a 1GGTE without seeing it running first. The gentleman selling it didn't want to sell the 1GGTE without someone seeing it running first, because they are known to not be the most reliable engine in the world. You know, bottom end bearings pack out on them, or bigger bearings, whatever they're called. But yeah, basically the common issue with inside the guts of the motor. Keep the oil changed, check the oil levels, keep your fluids up, don't over rev the snot out of it, and I think it will last a long time. Apparently it's only got 150,000 on it. Who really knows at the end of the day? But when I was in it test driving it, it was beautiful. It was smooth, it ran well, it pulled hard. For an RA40, which is about the same weight as an RA28, it pulled hard. It was struggling to keep traction in the rear. It was fun, so I'm really going to enjoy this motor in here. And yeah, got to find some tyres, got to put the windows in, which I'm keeping in my room out of the way. There's the old fuel tank there, which I've started to look at. I think I've got to fill it with vinegar and let it sit for a week and kind of get rid of all the corrosion and rust that's in it. It does look terrible. A couple of trimming pieces. The dash I picked up from another guy in Brisbane, Gordon, who has got lots of little parts available here, there and everywhere. And I managed to clean this up real well. It's come up really good. I put my clusters in it, a little bit of dust on there, but it's come up a treat. Looking forward to having the whole interior of the car blacked out. I might do a couple of maybe chrome pieces or white pieces in the inside, but nothing over the top. I don't want this thing to look like a Fast and the Furious car. I just want it to be sleek, elegant, and work. I was even considering not putting the GT stripes on, but I'm going to give it a go. If I ever hate it, I'll change it. I want it to be sleek, I want it to be modern, and it's going to be a daily driver, so you know, I need this thing to be comfortable. I installed the old W50 gearbox onto the 1GGTE, which required an adapter plate because they do not bolt on to the 1GGTEs, the original gearboxes in these cars, and I didn't want to go buy a W58. I'll see how I go with it being able to hold a bit more power, but I think it will be okay. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be changing the turbos anytime soon. I was really happy with the performance, like I said. I just need this thing running, really. But yeah, a few more videos over the next few weeks. We'll see how we go. I hope I'm not one of those people who say I'll make videos and then I don't, because that would suck for everybody that I've told I would. So yeah, see you next time.